Good morning. It's something of July. It's raining. It's a British summer, and I'm chuckling because I've been listening to something that my son over in Denmark sent me a link to this morning. I'll show you it now. It's a YouTube podcasty channel called Gossip Mongers. It's ridiculous because I've just been in here listening to it on my headphones, laughing hysterically. And Gossip Mongers, if you've got a slightly sick sense of humour, you'll, like me, you might enjoy that. Anyway, I'm just doing a very quick sort of catch up, really, just say hello to folks. There's just two things I want to do on this very short, and I'm hoping 5 minutes or so I can upload it tonight. There's no sign of getting anywhere to do longer video uploads, so I've got this backlog of setups and refurbs and stuff that I just have no idea when I'm going to be able to post. So I have to do shorter things, and the problem with shorter things is that either I pass myself off as some sort of expert showing you how to do something clever, which I've never really wanted to be that person, or I have to kind of think ahead and plan something vaguely interesting, neither of which I feel very good at doing. Anyway, so I just thought, well, get on today and do something rather than nothing. So hello subscribers, thank you for continuing to subscribe, and new members or new subscribers on YouTube. Two things, right? One, if you use a neck rest, don't trust over the years that it will retain its supportiveness, particularly around the edges. I found this out to my cost the other day on Chris's vintage V100, where I did some fretting using my little hammer and my little oaken things that I used to tap the frets in. And I say tap, but actually there are times where when you get to a particular one, you know it's sticky and you want to give it a sharp rap. So it's tapping, hitting quite hard. Doing that on this neck cool, for some reason it just happened to be that the edge had worn away, so that it was wood against finish, and it made some little compression dings there, which is really annoying for the customer, but it's also annoying for me. So there's no way I could send that back with being able to feel this stuff on the back of his guitar. So I had no choice but to fill the dings, refinish over the top, and it's taken me a few days just to get the colour matched up and everything. I'm now letting the final bits of clear poly dry, in which case I'm going to then double check them for smoothness and then wire wall them to a matte finish, and we can get the setup finishing on. So rule number one, do not trust this to retain cushioning. Don't assume it will cushion. Hence I have stuck a piece of foam with double-sided sticky tape into this unit. We'll continue to do so. In fact, I might even just continue with that rather than buy a new one, because at least that way I know exactly how supportive it is rather than trusting another one. There's no need to buy more stuff since I've got tons of this foam, and I can improvise. Anyway, but that's the thing, is periodically over time check your tools, because when they finally kind of give up the ghost, it can be expensive, or time consuming I should say, and embarrassing to have to say to somebody, look, while doing a bog standard setup and refurb, I was forced to stop and do this because my neck rest put some dents in your neck. Ever so sorry. So it happens, but there's one to watch out for, particularly if you do any kind of tapping or clamping, right? You clamp something and a piece of wood touches, sometimes with your neck caul, cork based neck caul. I need to reline that, because right on the edges where this bit of a Les Paul presses on the cork, it presses it right down so that it compresses more than the other parts, and eventually on the tail end of that block, this area on the block will be pressed flat to the wood, and then that has a chance of putting pressure dents. Okay, that's thing number one. Second thing I wanted to show you is I bought a Real Love Guitars Facebook friend, Ben, alerted me to a left-handed Raleigh body for sale on Facebook yesterday. Now, I'm a fan of Raleighs. Interestingly, I don't ever remember Raleighs having serial numbers. This one's got one on the back, but that's aside. But this is indeed a Raleigh GL300, or I think it's a GL300 body. I've seen lots of, or quite a few GL300s. I haven't seen one in black, funny enough. I usually see the 400 in black. But anyway, so this body was going, a seller called Alan George, who buys a load of, I'm going to guess this because I haven't spoken to him, so forgive me if it's wrong, but I think he gets a load of seconds from a kind of a relationship he's struck up with factories in China, and he gets the seconds and sells them on at very, very affordable prices. Now, for someone like me, I'm not sure, I don't know the history of this. I'm not even sure that's from the same, this rally is from anywhere near the same factory. So this just could be something he's come by, and anyway, I've spotted it, or Ben spotted it for me, and I've bought it from him. The amazing thing is, I bought this yesterday, bank transferred the money, and this arrived this morning. So incredibly fast service. Thank you, Alan. Amazing. But I also looked on his site, and there's all manner of good things that he's got in there. And so you look at this and you go, well, look, you just bought a second-hand rally body. Now, I like these rallies, right? They're great guitars anyway. I think they're really solidly made, and they're great start points for an upcycle refurb. So this could be, for 45 quid posted, this could be a fabulous lowish cost, good chassis to build a custom for a customer, a Real Love Guitars customer who knows what I do and wants something like this upcycled, so refretted, custom parts to their choice, and so on and so on. And they trust me that the Rally chassis is really good. But the other aspect of it is that I'm always on the lookout for set necks, glue-in necks that I can use in projects. And the problem is, the cheapest glue-in necks you can get are from eBay or AliExpress, somewhere like that, the Chinese factory sellers. And they'll cost you about 40 quid, and you'll wait weeks for them to arrive. And then when they arrive, they're I don't know what this is. This could be, it's probably rosewood, but it's not a very pretty rosewood. We don't know though. We could refinish this and find it's very handsome. But anyway, you'll get a 45 quid. You'll get a Chinese made black wood or tech wood neck fingerboard, which doesn't feel, feels okay to play, but it doesn't look lush, So if you're building, guitars and people want a premium product, you want a more attractive fingerboard if you can find it, or at least not a tech wood one anyway, which is a white wood that's dark and stained and compressed. It does a perfectly good hardy job, I'm told. But anyway, so I looked through Alan's catalogue, and I saw there's a bunch of these sort of bodies or guitars, some complete with strings and pickups, but astonishingly low prices. 115 quid for a Les Paul double cut junior style thing in zebra wood. Now it's Chinese built, right, and Chinese pickups and whatever, but for 115 quid you've got probably a perfectly good quality neck joint to body, which you can play around with. You could refinish, you could paint over in TV yellow, and you wouldn't really be that much out of pocket. So I saw this stuff and I thought, this is a really good possible supply of parts or bodies to upcycle. Now, the logic for this is that although it's pretty, I wouldn't mind having a right-handed rally body like this to make into something for myself. Not that I need one, but but as a left-hander, there's a market there for left-hand guitars because not a lot of people are making them or customizing them. I'm told anyway. And the other thing about this, of course, is that actually if I don't want to make this into a left-handed guitar for someone, actually I can cut this neck out right out of here. It's a shame, right? But the logic is, for 45 quid I can have myself a perfectly serviceable, totally upcyclable, basically nice Les Paul neck, which I can customize the headstock. It's got quite a modest size headstock, which I like as well. So for 45 quid, even if I bandsawed this out of here, tidied it up and reused it, it'll be a better start point than many necks I could get direct from the factories. And the problem with glue-in necks is with bolt-ons you get a lot of choice in the if you're a maker and you don't make your own necks, but you want to either upcycle or if you want to start with new, you get for the bolt-ons you get a range from the Chinese stuff at about 25 quid for a Strat neck, which actually when upcycled is surprisingly good, but out of the box, they're nothing at all special. But you go from 25 quid up to 300 quid for an all parts or a Mighty Mite Fender licensed, and more if you go to Warmoth, for example. So there's a low end and there's a high end. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot in the middle. But there's still a range, you know, there's still more in the bolt-ons. In the set neck stuff, you really are struggling to find an unfinished, ready to glue in decent length or neck. You know, you can, like I say, you can get one for about 40 quid from AliExpress or eBay, Chinese direct from the factories, and they are tech wood usually, and they're okay. I've made a couple of guitars out of them. But after that, you can't, even if you wanted to spend 150, you can't find a commensurately good quality, jump up in quality bolt-on neck, glued neck in any of the sort of typical parts places. In fact, you go to somewhere like All Parts, I think it's All Parts, and you look for glue-in necks, and they sell none. They just sell, all they sell is bolt-on necks. There's a complete absence in All Parts. You go to a lot of other places, you won't find, and I guess it's that people, I think people probably think if you're making a Les Paul, you're going to make the neck yourself, which is great, and if you've got all the facilities, which I don't have, or don't have access to very often. So there's that kind of missing bit, and actually this, at 45 quid, or around about 50 for a lot of the ones I've seen on Alan George's site, it's actually a viable start point for me. So I know it sounds like sacrilege, and I probably will make this, because I like rallies, I'll make this into a left-hander for somebody. But if I had a commission to put together an upcycled, recycled woods type of custom Les Paul, I would, for £45, I wouldn't be too sorry to cut this out of this body if I needed to, and repurpose it. You know, because I can actually make the entire block, and I can make the tenon kind of, well, actually it's only this same length as this, so, but I could build up, I could use part of this body here to build up a long tenon in whatever shape or size I want. So it's actually, it sounds like a lot of work, and you might say, well, you might as well just build one from scratch. But I can do this work in here, whereas to build one from scratch I need you know, a circular saw and access to various other things to do it. Anyway, there you go. That's Alan George Guitars, and I think well worth a look at his stuff. He's doing it maybe as a hobby, but he's got some great things there. And the brands he has, things like IRC, which are kind of on a par with rallies. They're little known, relatively little known. But this thing, it's not in perfect condition, but tell you what, with some scratch remover and a trip to the buffer, this thing will shine like a beast, and it will look good quality second hand, but it can be done to custom. Anyway, there you go. That's my two things for today. Check your blocks and your supports, and do not trust, in fact boost the amount of support they give, or else you pay for it like I did. And Alan George Guitars, potentially supplier of great quality guitars to start if you're not kind of cut out to make things from scratch completely. This is a great place to learn some upcycling, and therein you get to do a lot of you know, modifications, if you know, which you could probably do in your shed type of arrangement, and you also have a perfectly good platform for doing setups and learning a trade. So check him out, worth doing. All right, thanks for that. See you again soon. I just wanted to say hello really, instead of just being radio silence, because I can't find anywhere to upload vast files from. So be good, stay safe from the virus, and see you soon.